I'm in the beautiful state of Utah, founded by the Mormons. I have a lot of respect for the Mormons, for the strength of their families, for the sincerity with which they hold their faith. But to respect people, you don't have to agree with them. I don't agree with them, and frankly, I don't think St. Paul would agree with them. From Galatians 1:8, but even if we or an angel from heaven should preach a gospel other than the one we preach to you, let them be anathema. That's what St. Paul said. The Mormon faith and the teachings of Joseph Smith, who founded the Mormon faith in the 1800s, are radically different from the gospel St. Paul preached. Mormons teach that the God that we believe in is only the God, not of everything, not the source of all existence, but the God of this world, the God of this universe. And that if we're good enough Mormons, we can become gods of our own planets, of our own worlds, where we'll be married in heaven to our celestial wife forever and reproducing the souls that will inhabit that world. How is that like the gospel St. Paul preached? It's nothing like it at all. It's basically teaching that God was just a regular guy and that you could become God. So God, instead of being this almighty being, the source of all life and creation that we worship, is basically someone who's going to be our peer. That's not the gospel that St. Paul preached. They also believe that God currently resides in Kobab. We're not sure where that is. It's some celestial body in the heavens somewhere, in outer space, literally. That's where he currently lives. All right, that sounds like a pretty outlandish belief. In fact, a lot of these things sound pretty outlandish. They also believe that all Christians got it completely wrong shortly after the ascension of Jesus Christ into heaven. Listen, Jesus promised the gates of hell would not prevail against his church. If everybody had it wrong until Joseph Smith came along in the 1800s, the gates of hell prevailed for almost 2 millennia, okay? Yeah, and we know that Jesus is good in his promises. Now, to be fair, people could look at this stuff that I'm saying, okay, I'm saying their beliefs are outlandish, and say that, hey, no, it's not fair, because Catholics believe things that are outlandish. You guys believe that you eat God in the Eucharist, okay? Fair enough. But listen, when it comes to beliefs that sound like, whoa, kind of amazing, kind of off the wall to people who don't believe, it's important to look at the source of those beliefs. Where do they come from? We believe that we eat God in the Eucharist, but that teaching has its roots directly from the words of a man who worked miracles and rose from the dead. If someone's asking me, coming knocking on my door, asking me to believe that God is just the God of our world, I could become his peer and the God of my own world someday, and that he currently lives on Kobab, what they're proposing better have a great source. And the only source of all that is some guy in the 1800s who's claiming, without any miracles to back it up, without rising from the dead, who's claiming that an angel will reveal it to him. I'm sorry, I need a little more than that. Mormons will also tell you after they visit you on your doorstep, hey, at least pray over the things that I'm proposing to you. You know, I don't find any reason at all to take to prayerful consideration things that don't make any sense to me. All right, if someone said, Chris, at least pray maybe that God might want you to cheat on your wife. No. Chris, at least pray that maybe you should believe, and this is in the book of Abraham, I'm not making this up, a lot of the missionaries that come to your door aren't even aware of this. Prayerfully consider that God might be in Kobab and that you could become a God of your own planet, and that's what Christianity was all about. And everybody had it wrong until God came to, lived in the U.S. in the 1800s. Prayerfully consider that. No, thank you. Listen, with all due respect to Mormon friends, and I do respect them a lot. Good people, sincere faith, great families. It's a gospel other than the one that St. Paul preached.